Hi, this is Alex from devstories.eu. OpenClaw Gateway, Episode 7 of 11. Giving an AI model raw command line access sounds like a fast track to a ruined system, but what if the agent could run harmless data parsing commands automatically, while explicitly asking your permission before touching anything destructive? The Exec tool and runtime approvals handle exactly this balance. The Exec tool allows an OpenClaw agent to run shell commands to interact with the system. When the agent decides it needs to execute a command, it targets either the host machine directly or a designated sandbox container. Using a sandbox container limits the blast radius for general execution. However, sometimes the agent genuinely needs to interact with your local file system, read your local logs, or start local processes. Running commands on the host is powerful, which is exactly why the authorization model exists. OpenClaw uses a two-tiered system for authorization to keep you in control without slowing down the agent unnecessarily. The first tier relies on safe bins. These are specific binaries you explicitly whitelist as harmless, such as JQ for parsing JSON or grep for searching text. If the agent calls the command that only uses these safe bins, the gateway executes it immediately. There are no prompts and the agent maintains its momentum. The second tier catches everything else. If the agent attempts a full shell execution or tries to use a binary not on the safe list, the gateway intercepts the request. It halts the agent and triggers the runtime approval system. A prompt appears in your gateway UI or your companion app. You get to review the exact command string the agent wants to run. If you approve, the gateway executes the command and returns the output to the agent. If you reject it, the command never runs. Instead, the agent receives an execution denied error and it must figure out another way to proceed or ask you for clarification. Here is the key insight into how this plays out in practice. Say the agent needs to analyze a massive log file. It calls grep to extract the errors. That runs instantly. Next, it needs to compile the project, so it attempts to run npm run build as a background process. The gateway stops the agent and pings your companion app. You read the command, realize it makes sense, and hit approve. The build starts in the background. Later, the agent decides to clean up by attempting to delete a source file. The gateway pings you again. You deny the request. Your file remains untouched and the agent learns it lacks permission for that action. There is a strict security constraint you need to know about when executing on the host. The gateway explicitly rejects any attempts to override the environment path variable. This prevents hijacking. Without this block, a malicious prompt could trick the agent into redefining the path, causing a safe bin name like grep to execute a destructive script hidden in a different folder. Because the path is locked, the safe bins list remains absolute. The real power of the Exec tool is not just that the AI can run commands, but that the tiered security model forces a human into the loop only when the stakes are high, leaving the agent completely autonomous for the routine work. If you want to help keep the show going, you can search for DevStories EU on Patreon. That is all for this one. Thanks for listening and keep building.